They are off today. They will play again tomorrow. And I believe Ziaire joins us now. Hey, man, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
You looked a lot more comfortable yesterday. Did you feel a lot more comfortable out there?
No doubt, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, the day before the first game, I only got about 20 minutes running up and down the court. So, I was just trying to get the feel for it. The pace slowed down the second game, got more comfortable with the teammates. It was just fun, man. I just felt more confident out there and I was in the zone.
All right, so we got to talk. I don't know how much you've heard about this, but yesterday on the broadcast, it was mentioned that the Grizzlies have Ziaire Williams on a 5,000-calorie diet. Is that true?
So I was on a 5,000 calorie diet like throughout the whole summer. That was back for like my summer program in the off season. Just trying to bulk up. Only gained still about 6 pounds with that, maybe 7. But I'm gonna always be slim. So for me, it's just about just getting stronger and just allowing my body to mature. So I know it's a long race, but I'm working hard every day.
How do we eat 5,000 calories?
Hey man, I'll tell you one thing. The first 2 weeks, man, I just wanted to just throw up everything I was eating. It was just so much. But over time, you kind of just get used to it. Like I'll work out about 4 times a day, 2 lifts and 2 shooting workouts. So in between each one, I would just have a nice, like, really good meal prep. So I'll have like salmon and potatoes, or like some chicken and broccoli, or honestly whatever. So I was really eating every 2 hours, even if it was just like a peanut butter jelly in between, like just a short lift or whatever. So whatever, honestly, just eating all day, the calories will eventually add up.
You were forcing yourself to eat.
Oh, by far. Like I wasn't eating for the pleasure. I was just eating just to try to get anything out of it. Honestly, it was tough for sure.
All right. Growing up with military parents, what is that like? Because dad was Marines, mom has been like Army. So is this a strict household that you grow up in?
Man, absolutely. School was always first. I started school, I was 18 months. They were always, making sure I was dialed in. And of course, at the time, I hated it. I felt like they didn't want me to do anything fun. I would have to be home before the street lights came on, and while all my friends were still outside riding their bikes and all that. But I totally understand it now. So I've grown up to be really respectful and humble. So it all paid off, man. They raised me right.
Was it like? If I went to your bedroom when you were a kid, is your bed always made? Is your room always clean? Like I've got this vision.
And if not, did you have to drop and give them 20?
Yeah, I've got this vision of like everything being mad tidy and like.
Right.
All right, is that what it's like?
Every now and again, yeah. So they weren't like so hardcore about that stuff, but they were more just disciplined. Like you're gonna be respectful at all times. You're gonna follow directions. I had chores, of course, and my chores weren't done. They would, definitely punish me for that. But it was really just a respect thing, honestly, respecting your peers, parents, just students in the class, everything, man. So. Debbie had a couple butt whoopings every now and then, for sure, but it was all for the greater good.
At what point in your life, and even from your parents' perspective, do you think like an NBA dream became realistic? What age would you say that you thought, this could actually be true? I mean, because we're all kids. Everybody wants to be a professional athlete when they're a kid, right? If they love sports. And then most of us come down to earth pretty quickly, by the time you get to like high school or something. But at what point for you did it become like, and that your parents like really supporting the idea that you could be a professional athlete one day?
Right. So I would say probably my senior year of high school. That's kind of when I thought it might be a possibility. Even then, I was still, like, we'll just see. I'll always just play the game just for the love of it and the passion this gave me. But Yeah, man. My senior year of high school, I did pretty well, did good in EYBL, and then that's when I started to hear about, like the mocks or whatever, the draft stuff. So I knew it could be a possibility, but me, I'm always just focusing on just school and just me myself trying to be the best version of me I possibly could be. So whatever comes out of that is a bonus, man. So the whole plan was just to get to college. My family, we didn't have too much money growing up, so I played basketball really just for the fun and to get to college. And all this being on the Grizzlies, man, being drafted, it's all a plus. So I'm just grateful and I'm blessed, man. Seriously.
Did you play any other sports?
I did. Soccer was my first sport, actually. Played soccer. I was about 3. Played from like 3 to 7, 3 to 8, and yeah, like I was a forward and a goalie. Our team was really good, and then when I was a goalie, I would just be sitting back, just watching the game, because our team, it would never come on our side of the field. So
You got bored.
At that time, I got bored real quick, man. And basketball slowly started just making its way over.
When did you hit the growth spurt?
So my whole life, I've always been just like on the taller side, nothing like crazy though. In high school, I was 6'2", and then every year I grew like just slowly 2-3 inches. So I went from 6'2" to 6'5" or 6'4", and then 6'7", and then 6'8", and then shoot, even after college, I went from 6'8" to almost 6'10". So I might still be growing, man. Who knows? And the doctor told me if I was lucky, I would be 6'4".
Oh wow! And so, but I mean,
Yeah.
you started out. I think this is true of a lot of guys that grow like that and that are still growing. You start out as a guard, right? And so, like those ball
Oh, yeah.
skills and all that kind of stuff, it comes natural. Like you've got a bigger frame now, but in terms of moves and dribbling and kind of almost the way you see the game, it comes from a guard's perspective when you're like learning how to play basketball, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, all credit goes to my dad because, when I was growing up, I had coaches who wanted me to be the center, just get the ball in the post and just shoot over smaller guys. And my dad refused to have me in the post. He always had me working on guard skills, always had me working on my shot. Whether we had to hop middle school fences, play at the park, eventually he built me my own basketball court in the driveway, so he taught me everything I know, man, seriously. So, without Pops, man, I wouldn't be the player I am today.
When you were playing for Sierra Canyon, right? This gets a lot of publicity because you're playing with LeBron's kid, playing with Wade's kid. But, you talked about how important school was to your parents. This is what I want to know. What is
Absolutely.
going to school like there? What is school like at Sierra? Yeah.
So, so for me personally, I was trying to go to Stanford, so I had to do AP classes. I took 2 APs and 1 honors class my senior year. But Sarah Kane it's a different dynamic, because it's like a college-based schedule, so you have free periods throughout the day, so you could kind of go home, chill, or maybe get shots up while you're free, and then go back to class. But it's definitely a different dynamic for sure. It was an interesting last year. It's crazy, man. Everyone is kind of like on their own agenda there for sure. But as on the basketball team, we're all super close, so it was a fun year to end it all for sure.
Do you see people treat Bronny differently? And you guys all were fame. It's odd, right? Because there was a level of fame that came along with you guys. You're on TV. You got these huge Instagram followings, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're already got this level of fame, even though you're just in high school.
Yeah, so from the outside, definitely, man. Bronny, he's idolized for sure. But he knowing him personally and him being part of the team, man, that's like my little bro. He's just super down to earth, super chill. Even Z Wade, they just come from great backgrounds, great families. They don't ever think they're better than the next man. I love those guys to death, man. I talk to them every day, if not every day, at least once a week. So those will be my guys for life, man. I'm super glad I got even a chance to play with them and to be a part of Sierra Canyon. It was the funnest year of basketball I've ever had.
Tell me the benefits from your perspective of getting to be around those guys as resources. I mean, we saw Wade reaching out after you were drafted by the Grizzlies. We saw LeBron, repping you in the past. And obviously, you've been around those guys a lot, and they've taken a liking to you and taken you under their wing. I heard you calling him uncle the other night. So there's a really close relationship there. But just in terms of you going through this post-high school to the point where you get drafted by the Grizzlies, the value of having those guys in your life?
It's huge, man. I mean, they're great. So for me personally, man, I'm all about soaking in as much knowledge as possible because, life, man, in a sense, it's more about who you know rather than what you know. So for me, man, it's just I love learning from them. They always, give me advice or, show me love, man. It definitely doesn't go unnoticed. And it helps me a lot, with my confidence, just my IQ with the game, just little tips. So it's always, an honor and a pleasure just to be able to receive knowledge and, tips to be a better player from those two. Absolutely, man. That's family.
Your year at Stanford, take me through it. Through your eyes and what took place that year. It's certainly not the college experience I'm sure you thought you were going to get, right? I mean, not being on the campus, odd games, random games in these different places, on and on. But just, you have this level of fame, you're playing for Sierra Canyon, and now you go to Stanford and everything is weird last year, right?
Everything.
Yes.
No doubt. It was just different from all angles. My first day on campus, we were practicing on tennis courts. We weren't even allowed to practice in the first place for the first 2 weeks. And then we got cleared to play on the tennis court. They taped lines on the court. Me and my roommate Noah, we were riding our bikes across the street to this high school and playing over there.
Wait, hold on. The tennis court thing, did they bring in a wait, is it a portable goal? Did they bring a portable goal?
Yeah, so they literally brought the hoops from the gym that had wheels on them. I don't even know where the hoops came from, to be honest. They had wheels on them. They brought them over to the tennis court. They took the net off in between.
No.
And seriously,
so
I
you
couldn't
could play.
make this up,
So
man.
wait. So you had to play outdoors?
We played outdoors for 3 weeks. Those were the first 3 weeks of basketball we had, and we couldn't even play as a team. It was only 4 people allowed at a time. It was crazy, man. And then after that, we were allowed to play in high school. So I didn't play on the Stanford campus until later in the year. Actually, no, I take that back. We had about 3 weeks of preseason before our first game against Alabama in the gym. But after that, man, I didn't see the home. We didn't go back to Stanford until the last 3 weeks of the season. So I played about 4 home games my senior year. No fans, of course, any students. It was tough, man. It was tough from all angles. I had family stuff, man. Unfortunately, I lost 2 uncles who were super close to me. One of my uncles I lost, he was the man who brought me to the game of basketball. So, he brought me closer to God. He was just a family man. He was one of my biggest role models. So to lose him, and in a sense, I felt this may sound weird, but I feel my life was it was too perfect. I was always the smartest in the class, always was good at basketball, always everything. I had a great family. Everything was always working out for me. So everything kind of hit at once. It was only a matter of time. And, it was a lot, man, for sure. It was definitely difficult, but, I always try to just remain just optimistic, remain positive. My family always preaches, God, he has a plan for everyone. You may not understand why, but, he has a reason for everything. So I was just trusting in him, praying a lot, reading the Bible a lot. That's kind of, the way I found to cope with these issues when I was in quarantine, so it was a fun year, though. I don't want to sound too Debbie Downer. I love my teammates to death, love the coaches, and we made the most out of it as much as we could.
Were you scared that it was going to affect your NBA dream or your draft stock?
I mean, not really, because going to Stanford wasn't even a basketball decision. I could have went to Kentucky or UNC or wherever, but this was a 40-year plan. I love basketball. Basketball is going to be my tool to help me do other things in life. But, I went to Stanford just for life after basketball. I'm a really big technology, math guy in science. So, I would love to be in VC one day. Love to be in private equity and do real estate, just get my hands in everything. So going to Stanford wasn't a basketball decision. I had to understand that going in. So, I never really, if whatever was going to happen, was going to happen, man. My dad told me, don't stress about it, just keep working hard and, everything will work itself out. So here I am today.
It worked out. He was right? It worked. It worked out.
Here I am today, man.
Did you know the Grizzlies? The Grizzlies were taking you?
So the whole time, I knew the Grizzlies were super interested, and this is where I wanted to be the whole time. I thought it was a perfect fit. Zach and Tayshaun, those were like the two guys I talked to the most. And I even had an individual, and we kept it like just real low key, because they didn't want no one to know about me, and I didn't want anyone to know about them. So there's always been interest. They've even told me they watched me since high school. They love me for years now. So even with, like, just being on the team, you just feel the love from the team, the GMs, the coaching staff. It's awesome, man. The transition has been the smoothest process ever, and I'm just happy to be here, man. Seriously, there's no place I'd rather be.
Why did you want to be a Grizzly? From afar, right? I mean, here's a California kid, and it's like he wants to play for the Memphis Grizzlies. Like, I'm sure there's at least a portion of the audience is probably like rolling their eyes like, oh, yeah, sure, that's where he was. Everybody always says, yeah, they love where they got drafted, and it's where they want to be. But, like, you're being honest. I take you at your word, like, that you wanted to be there. Is it because you knew about John, you knew about Jaren, and you knew about, obviously they were on a big stage last year, knocking off the Warriors and going to the playoffs?
Yeah, no, it was just the perfect fit. Yep. I feel like I could be that 2-3 long, lanky who could defend and play on both sides of the ball. Help the team out. They're right there on the cusp of being a contender in the playoffs. So I would love to be the guy that helps us go over the edge. But more importantly, like the Grizzlies, man, it was the only workout I had. I worked out for 10, 11 different teams, and the Grizzlies were the only team where, in a sense, felt like a college recruitment trip. It was like as if they were more happy with me going there than me. I'm like, I'm happy to be here. And they all telling me, thank you for coming, man. We love you so much. Like the love has always been genuine since day one. Like, I can't make this up, man. So, just to feel them, when people feed me confidence, it allows me to be a better player and a better person. So, just to hear, kind words from them, it was really encouraging. So I felt like this is the right spot for me. And, the NBA, man, unfortunately, a lot of times it is about situation, what the roster is like, where you're at, and your teammates, the vets, if you have good teammates. So everyone here is just so down to earth, man, so chill. And, the whole organization is young, man, young and hungry. They are on their success driven. We're right there. So I believe we have some great stuff working, and we're going to keep working as a team, getting better. I'm still learning from the whole summer league process, just figuring the game out, learning different things from Coach Darko and Coach Jenkins, everyone. So I'm excited, man, seriously. So it's going to be a fun year.
Few quick things. At the end of NBA games, we always see guys like dapping each other up, but sometimes you could tell that they have a prior relationship. They're really close. Of the guys that got drafted in your draft class, who would you say you're like closest with? Who did you play like AAU with, or like who are the other guys that you were happiest for on draft night that you have a relationship with?
Man, a lot of them. Cade Cunningham, that's my guy, man. He was my roommate for a month when we were on Team USA. That's my brother, Josh Christopher. We grew up in Lancaster together. Shout out to the 661. We played on the same AU team when we were like 8, 9 years old, way back in the day. So, that's my brother for real. Evan Mobley, Jalen Suggs, Scotty, Jalen Green, the whole USA squad, man. It was cool to see all of us go top 10. We were the only 6 underclassmen on that team. So, And
Oh, so
I'm
they're
probably
all your Team USA buddies that you guys won with.
yeah. Even Jeremiah. Jeremiah was the only one who was older than us, and he made it too. So the whole team is now in the NBA. I'm trying to think. Man, there's so many players. Honestly, the basketball community is super small, man. It's super small. So, I know I've either know every player or played against everyone who's in my grade. So, and I'm never big on hate, man. I love seeing other people succeed. So it was cool just growing up with all these guys, playing against them, competing, and seeing us all come up to this next level. Unfortunately, we lost T. Clark, man. This is my brother. I got his wristband right here. He really paved the way for us, man. Seriously, he just was just super down to earth, just loving, caring, and he was competitive. He thought he was a pro. He was a pro. He presented himself like a professional. So, we were trying to just do all this for him in his honor. So, rest in peace to T, man.
Yeah, that's
we
cool.
gonna do it for him.
That was special what the NBA did for him on draft night. That was that tugged at everybody's heartstrings for sure.
Man, exactly.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, what do you do outside of basketball? What do you like? I know you say you like technology. You like this. Are you like a Netflix guy? Are you a video game guy? What do you like to do if you just have time to yourself? That's not basketball.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie, basketball, especially this year, basketball takes up so much time. Like whenever I'm not playing, I'm just sleeping. I'm sleeping or eating.
But if you go back to your room, are you trying to hook up a game console, or are you trying to watch a show, or what?
So I love 2K. Grew up always playing 2K. Even like Call of Duty, I play video games every now and then with my friends. I love spending quality time with just all the homies, family. I'm a big family man. So whenever I'm home, even though I'm not home as much anymore, whether I'm on FaceTime or in person, whatever, I try to just spend quality time with my friends and stuff when I'm not playing because, the game takes up so much time. So I try to just get away from it, clear my mind. I've been trying to read a lot. I just finished Chop Wood, Carry Water. It was a super good book, highly recommended for everyone. And a lot of people are saying there's going to be so much free time this year, so I'm really considering maybe buying a piano for my new house out there.
A piano!
I'm really thinking about it. I really am.
The last guy that we had that played the piano was Mike Conley, and he's had a hell of a career.
Hey, man, that might be a good sign.
He might. He used to go, because I remember the last time I saw him, he used to go, if you stay at I'm sure you saw it when you were in high school and played for Team USA, but in the NBA, you guys stay at all these, super nice hotels. A lot of them will have pianos in the lobby, and he used to run up on them and start playing. That's could be crazy. You. That could be you.
No, that would be super dope. I'm going to learn for sure. It's only a matter of time, but I'm going to learn.
Do you play any instrument?
Piano and saxophone.
Do you play any instrument?
Never. I never had time.
Can you sing?
It's always been just basketball. So.
Can you sing?
No, I definitely cannot sing. No, I wasn't blessed with that talent.
Okay, so you could find maybe somebody on the team. You can be the John Legend. You'll just be John Legend at the piano, but somebody else could do the voice.
Exactly. Even making beats, shoot, it's gotta, Jaren, he raps.
We know. So. Everybody raps. Everybody raps nowadays. You could do the piano. You could at least do the Dre part,
right. Big fact.
Ziaire, you're the best, man. Hey, congratulations. Welcome to Memphis/Vegas, and we can't wait to see you back here in town. Go win this summer league, for goodness sakes. That Max Strus guy, enough with him. We're done with him. We're done with him.
Hey, we're done with him. Next, man.
We're done with him. All right. Congrats on everything, man. Have fun.
Man. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
it was
brother.
a pleasure for having me.
Ziaire Williams, number 10 pick overall in the NBA draft.
that is.
He's unbelievable.
I mean,
how can you? That's mega impressive.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Mega impressive, man. I don't know how anybody could watch that and not be like feeling good. Seriously. I feel good just after talking to the kid.
Yes. I mean, that.
Like, he crazy likable.
Yeah.
My God. You know what I mean? So part of sports, I was thinking about this last night.
19 years old.
I was thinking about this. Good head on his shoulders.
Turns 20 in like a month.
I mean, come on. I just finished a book. I'm thinking about learning how to play piano.
Maybe the saxophone. I was like,
what? Why, yeah, dude, why are you? That was not me when I was 19. I promise you that.
No.
This guy, he's talking about Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was thinking about it the other day. People see that. In the end, right, people are going to care if you're good at basketball. But you see a kid like that, and you see how just intensely likable it is. Part of sports is, loving rooting for the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, whenever you're a fan of a team, you end up becoming attached to the people that are involved on that team in many cases, right? And obviously, if you root for a team, you feel like you get to know these guys. I guarantee you that guy's going to be big in the community. That guy's going to be, and obviously rookies are always incredibly fun. But the kid has like an energy and like a magnetism to him when he smiles and he starts talking that is just great attitude, intensely likable, great head on his shoulders. And it's a long-winded way of me telling you, I thought about this last night because I've been blessed, and this has not been a fun season. But as a baseball fan, Adam Wainwright threw an 88-pitch complete game shutout last night.
Yeah.
I believe it's his 27th complete game, his 11th shutout. I mean, he's going to be 40 years old in like 2.5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
40. It's an 88-pitch complete game shutout last night. I mean, it's unbelievable. And that 2011 thing, that's 10 years ago now. It does not feel like 10 years ago. You think about how awesome he was and Yachty, who's catching him last night. And after that game, they go and they're smiling, they're embracing each other. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, like, I don't take for granted that I get to root for these guys for that. I've rooted for them for so long now. I have cared, and I've watched those two, and it was kind of in peril, possibly in the off season. Like they might have ended their careers in other uniforms. They might not have come back to the Cardinals. They're both free agents. They brought them both back, and I wanted them back. But why did I want them back? I didn't want them back because I thought Yachty was going to hit 330 and 25 home runs. I didn't want him back because I thought Wainwright was going to be anything close to what he's been this year. I wanted them back because I like them.
Yeah.
I want to root for them, right? Our buddy Mark, he texted me this morning. He was so sad about the Cubs thing. Their season has been absolute trash. But I don't know if you saw it. They released Arrieta today.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they got rid of Jake Arrieta. I mean, he's got over 7 ERA. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You want to root for Jake Arrieta, right? Like, he is a connection to, good memories. And so, over the years, you feel like, there's this kinship with the players that you root for, and it's always better when you feel like you're rooting for good guys, for likable guys. It just is. I mean, in the end, anybody can play for your team, but you just don't get the same feeling, right, when some guy is not some great guy or some guy is you like him because he's good at sports, and that's about where it ends. But there does become personal connections to all these guys. And I say all that to say, when you see a kid like that, like, who don't want to root for him? Seriously. I don't even care if you're a fan of the Grizzlies or not. How can you not root for that kid? How? Like, you would have to be like a colossal pessimist stick in the mud. Because he was like open and honest about everything. There was a portion of that interview where he really made, he wise beyond his years. He said, I was always the smartest. I was always the best at basketball. I was always whatever. And it was almost like my family was great, that everything was too perfect. And so we're just going to hit you with everything.
Yeah.
Life's going to hit you with everything at one point. You're practicing basketball on a tennis court. You don't have any friends at Stanford. You got college. You're not even going out. You're not doing anything. You got 2 uncles, one of which he said was the person that brought him to basketball and the biggest role model in his life, pass away. Like, all of these things came crashing down on him within the course of a year. I mean, you don't have to talk about that. I didn't even bring any of that up. I didn't bring any of that up. I just talked to him about his year at Stanford, right? And you could have said whatever. I didn't go where I thought it was, it was a struggle because it was difficult because we lived off campus, whatever. But I'm here now and blah, 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 the past, whatever. But instead, he got a little introspective, and he even said, I know this could sound crazy, but I feel, there's part of me that felt like everything was too perfect, right? I'm just going along with life and without obstacles or something bad happening to me. And as we know, that's what life is, right? That there are things that are going to happen to you in life that can break you, or really set you back, or really put you in a dark place, or whatever it may be. And he had never really experienced that, to hear him say it. And yet there he was, and it's all happening very quickly. And you got to try to deal with it all the meanwhile, play college basketball for a team that doesn't get to practice with each other and has – that was funny. He said, I don't even know where they got the goals. Practicing on the tennis court.
Yeah.
Because they're outdoors. That's wild. And how about him not go – he said, I did not go to Stanford.
Yeah.
It's
not basketball.
For basketball.
It was not a basketball thing.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Right? Because he said, I could have gone to Kentucky. I could have gone to UNC. Could have gone to – any of them wanted him.
Oh, yeah.
But I went to Stanford because I have this interest in –
you're right there. Palo Alto.
There's other stuff, and I have the opportunity to go there. Yeah. And he said, and I wanted to go there. What did he say? He took 2 AP courses and another honors thing or something. Man, kid's
smart.
Got a hell of a head on his shoulders.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, I guess
impressive.
I guess if your dad's a Marine, you're gonna go one way or the other, right?
Yeah, you are going one way or the other.
You're either gonna turn out to be awesome, or you're gonna turn out to be somebody that just resents the world. You know what I mean? And he turned it out awesome. I mean, my God, I'd be so proud for that to be my son and see that interview. I really would.
Yeah,
I would be so proud because I hope I have a son. I hope one day he's like that because, man, these 19-year-olds ain't the same anymore.
No, they're not.
They are not the same.
They're not.
Every time